So many of you may have heard the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious from the song out of Mary Poppins, but have you ever heard it said backwards? It's pronounced pseudocotylipex's zexaciligophyllocrepus. Now you're probably wondering, Megan, why can you do that? And it's because I had the opportunity to play Mary Poppins in the musical just over a year and a half ago. So today I want to tell you about the origin of the story, the original Mary Poppins on stage, the characters in the show, and the storyline itself. This is important because Mary Poppins is not only a role model for little kids, but she's also a role model for adults. So I want to begin by telling you about the origin of the story. According to the editors of biography.com, Miss P.L. Travers is the author of the book Mary Poppins that was published in 1934. And according to the story behind Saving Mr. Banks, starring Tom Hanks as Walt Disney from mentalfloss.com, Miss P.L. Travers was miserable throughout the entire process of making the movie of Mary Poppins because she felt that Disney was defiling her beloved character and storyline. When she was coming close to the end of her life, there was a rumor going around that the book was going to be made into a musical. And because of this rumor, she had it put in her will that the makers of the Disney production were to have nothing to do with the musical whatsoever. When the musical was made, her wishes were respected, and the makers of the Disney production were not involved at all. Even though the movie brought the show to its glory, the musical is a lot closer to the original storyline. So I want to introduce you to the person who played Mary Poppins the way that her creator would have wanted. Many of you may know Julie Andrews as the first Mary Poppins, and she was, but not on stage. According to Michael Billington of TheGuard.com, Laura Michelle Kelly is the original Mary Poppins that was produced in London, England in 2004. According to an article called Chatting with Mary Poppins is Laura Michelle Kelly from Playbill.com, after 2 years of playing the role, Laura Michelle Kelly left the role to go to New York to be in a production of Fiddler on the Roof. Then, in 2009, when Mary Poppins was revived on the Broadway stage, Laura Michelle Kelly was asked to come back and play Mary Poppins once again. When she came back, she said in this interview that over the years, Mary Poppins had been played by a lot of different actresses, so the character had developed over those years, and that her version of Mary Poppins had also developed because of how much time she was away from the character. So now that you know a little bit about how this character has developed over the years, I want to go over just about the basics of Mary Poppins and some of the other characters in the show. All of the following character descriptions are found on the Cabrillo Stage Professional Musical Theater website of 2015. So let's begin with Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins is practically perfect in every way. She is whimsical and magical, but she's also very stern. Everything is done her way, and she never explains anything. Then there's Bert, who is her partner in crime and absolute best friend. He is a man of many trades, from a chimney sweep to a street painter. He speaks with a Cockney accent, and he loves to play around. And then there's Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks is a banker and the father of the two children in the show, Jane and Michael. He is very set in his ways of precision and order, and he doesn't spend a whole lot of time with his children because of the way that he was brought up by his nanny, and because he just works a lot. This, however, changes as the story goes on. And that brings us to his wife, Winifred Banks. Winifred is a former actress, so she is very caring and fun-loving. That also means that she has a very hard time holding up to her husband's standards of efficiency. And their children, Jane and Michael. Jane is a very high-spirited young lady who does not like to listen. She is known for her snarky remarks throughout the show, and she's not the best example of how a child should speak to an authority figure, but she's pretty cute. And then there's Michael. Michael strives to gain his father's approval and attention. So to do this, he tries everything from being cute to being mischievous. And all of these characters make up the beautiful show that I'm about to describe. According to StageAgent.com of 2016, the numbers in the musical actually do resemble the numbers from the movie. But as I've said before, the musical is also very original. The musical is based in London, England in 1910, And it starts in the Banks home on Cherry Tree Lane with Mr. and Mrs. Banks and their servants. And according to Broadway.com of 2016, the story is as follows. Mary Poppins is brought into the house by an advertisement that the children write, and their father tears up and throws into the fireplace. And it's brought up by magic. And through that magic, Mary Poppins and Bert come to the house and bring games and magic and turn the children into loving and appreciative children. But she also has a very significant effect on the parents that leaves the audience speechless every time. To wrap up, this story is loved by millions, and so is Mary Poppins, but not in the same way that she is loved by her creator, who loved her to her very death. Laura Michelle Kelly also loves Mary Poppins because she was the first to play Mary Poppins on the stage production. I know from personal experience that once you have Mary Poppins in your life, she's there for the rest of it. If you want to see the show as it was meant to be told, you're going to have to find a way to see the production on stage. But for now, I'll leave you with this quote that is my favorite quote from the show. If you reach for the stars, all you get are the stars, but we've found a whole new spin. If you reach for the heavens, you'll get the stars thrown in. Thank you for listening.